Welcome back, everyone. In today's video, I'm going to teach you all about the throat chakra, and more importantly, we'll end the video with some practical steps that you can take to help unblock and open up your throat chakra so that you are healthier and can manifest the life of your dreams. Now, let's get started. Because with chakras, remember, it's important that we do some work on opening and clearing and cleansing and balancing all of them such that we can show up more in our lives. We can be more open, more focused, more balanced, and have a more balanced expression of the energies within our body. And even if you're not with the woo-woo side of the throat chakra or with chakras in general, you can still use them. They're a useful lens through which a way of perceiving ourselves differently, that we can reorganize our characteristics in this other system. And when we look at ourselves through the lens of different systems, whether it's in psychology, there's multiple ways of looking at ourselves. You can look at yourself through the Freudian lens. You can look at yourself through, Maxwell's hierarchy of needs lens, the Jungian lens. It can highlight different aspects of yourself that you may not be aware of, simply based on how you organize that personality data. And the chakra system is no different. Energy work aside, it can help you illustrate where you're at. So in today's video, we're going to talk about the throat chakra. Now, the throat chakra, and bear with me on these pronunciations, because, some of these words are hard. It looks like the Vishuddha, or the Vishuddha. Yeah, we'll call it Vishuddha. The Vishuddha, which means, or translates loosely to pure or purification. It's about the purification element of the body. The throat chakra corresponds to communication, corresponds to truth, corresponds to your speaking. It's mostly about the speaking and speaking of your truth. And as you can hear, I got a little bit of a cold going on the last few days, so I'm having issues with my throat chakra right now because it's got mucus and I got the sore throat going on. But the color of the throat chakra is blue. It is the fifth chakra. So as you know from our previous videos, and if you haven't watched them, I have a link in the description below to our summary of the 7 chakras. And we've done the other 4 up into here. So we've done the root, because you got your root, base of the spine. You got your sacral, which is about 2 inches below the belly button. And imagine all of these as spheres of energy that are along the center axis of your body. So sacral is 2 inches below the navel. The solar plexus is right about where your solar plexus is, right at the bottom of the breastbone where it comes down here. You have a bundle of nerves there. Then you have the heart chakra, which is number 4, and that's here in between your chest. And then now we're on the 5th, which is the throat chakra. And in the next videos, we'll go over the third eye, which is here, and the crown, which is kind of almost loosely attached to the top, hence the crown, on top of your head. It's associated with sound as the element. Sound, space, and ether. So I consider ether to be a bit of space and sound, but it was a little bit different. And when I was researching, there was some different ideas of whether it's sound or space, so I just put it both in there. Now, when a throat chakra is imbalanced, that's when, and again, when any of these chakras is imbalanced, they can be sort of overactive or underactive. So you could be quiet on the underactive side. You're too shy. You can't speak your truth. You don't feel like you're able, it's because it's closed up, that you can't get your energy out in both word and action. And on the other side of it, you could be someone where it's, gossip. A lot of gossip, a lot of chatter, a lot of talking over people and not listening to what other people have to say. Those are the 2 polarities of the throat chakra. And then all of these different imbalanced characteristics fall between those 2 extremes. So we have quiet, fearful to speak, fearful to ask for what we want. We don't feel like we can speak up, hey, I don't like this, or I want this. We can have a sore throat like I've got right now a little bit. It also relates to TMJ. Everything related to the neck, like the neck area, the shoulders, the jaw muscles, your muscles that are back here and that connect and come on down into here. All of these muscle groups are related to the throat chakra. So if you've got a lot of neck tension and tightness and shoulder tension or TMJ, you could benefit from some throat chakra work. Not to say that you still shouldn't, go see a physical therapist, that you still shouldn't maybe see your doctor. This is not medical advice. I believe that we have to have a harmony and a blending of things. We can't simply replace Western medicine with all the woo-woo and the Eastern stuff. It has to be a blend of both. There's a time to take penicillin. And there's a time to meditate on your throat chakra. We have to accept that both realities have their pros and cons. When you got a sore throat, you need to go to the doctor, find out if you got something going on. But at the same time, Drink some herbal teas, you know, do some meditation on opening the throat chakra. Do some chanting, because the chanting with the vibrations of those Sanskrit words can help to loosen up things, help with the lymphatic system, help to clear out what you got going on in your throat. Getting some of these crystals and meditating with them, you know, laying flat, maybe putting the crystals around your neck to let their energy merge with your vibration. There's things you can do on both sides of that spectrum. Again, like we said, you could be a dominant speaker. You could be gossiping. You couldn't not being a very good listener because you're so busy on the other side of it. There could be shyness, again, in action as well as word. You could use negative words. Negative words, again, would be an example of an imbalanced throat chakra. And as you see, you know, this kind of relates, so we'll link the video down below about watching the language that you use, because in that video we talk about how examining the words that come out of your mouth will reveal some of your hidden beliefs and values that you may not even be aware of. And again, awareness is the biggest step in making change in anything. And again, looking at your actions and your emotions and your emotion management. Do you express your emotions, or do you express too much of your emotions? You know, again, we're looking for that balance. Now, when a throat chakra is in balance, what does that look like? Well, you've got no problem speaking up and speaking your truth when you need to in a way that's balanced and respectful of those around you. You're clear and honest in your communication. You express your emotions in a healthy way. You can be a good listener when it's needed. You can be the one to listen and create the ether, create the space for someone else to express their truth to you, to be a kind ear for a friend, for example. When you speak, you have resonance. You have no problem speaking loudly and clearly when you need to, such that it resonates and people can hear and feel the words and the energy behind what you're saying. You have a balance of talking and listening. You have the understanding that words have power, so you use them carefully. You choose your words wisely. You don't just, you know, let anything come out of your mouth, because you understand that words have ramifications. Words have energy. Words have power. And you have healthy boundaries and healthy expression of your emotions. You know, when you have an imbalanced throat chakra, you could also have, that's another one that can be an imbalance of boundaries, because again, you could be afraid to speak up. You could be afraid to tell someone, hey man, I don't like that. I don't like the actions or the words or what you're doing or saying towards me or those that I care about. And if we're going to continue to have a relationship of any kind, it doesn't have to be like a love relationship, friendship, family member, coworker, I'm going to need you to respect my boundaries. I'm going to need you to, you know, back up a little bit and be a little more respectful when you come at me. You know what I'm saying? And that's part of the boundaries, you know, in learning how to speak and communicate that. So now we've given you the overview of the throat chakra, you know, where it is, its color, all that good stuff, what it looks like, balanced, imbalanced. Now the next logical question is, okay, Lance, how do I open my throat chakra? How do I work with it? How do I help to heal it? How do I get it into balance? Well, I'm glad you asked. There are crystals, like all the other chakras, they're crystals that work with different chakras. For the throat chakra, it's the lapis lazuli, and pretty much anything blue. Again, going with the main color of the chakra is always safe when you're looking for crystals, foods, things that you can do to work with the chakra, work with the color. Wear the color. You know, if you're working on your throat chakra, wear blue. Get a blue shirt or something. You know, get a blue necklace, something like that. That can help, one of these gems maybe, that can kind of help you be consciously aware and work with it. So the lapis lazuli, turquoise, Amazonite again. Amazonite was just mentioned in another video. I want to say it was the heart chakra, but I'm not sure. But I know I've seen Amazonite in another chakra, so I love it when one gem overlaps because it's just cheaper that way. You know, we don't have to break our bank buying a bunch of gems when we can buy one that covers a couple. Like this is carnelian, for example. I just picked this up about a week ago. And carnelian is, as you can see from the color, good for the root chakra, but it's actually good for all three of your lower chakras, the root, the sacral, and the solar plexus. And carnelian is also thought to help, it's considered to be lucky, and it's also considered to help you express your power and to help you manifest wealth and success and feeling stable and secure within yourself. So I've been looking for one of these for a while, and I finally found one that fits pretty well. Because usually, you know, you get a ring from one of the crystal shops and it's either too loose or too tight and you can't fit it on, and I wanted to get one that could fit on the pinky ring. But anyway, so this is carnelian, which is good for the bottom three. That's one you can get today if you want, any sort of carnelian stone that you can use to work with all three of the bottom chakras. I want to say Amazonite was the heart. So in that case, Amazonite looks like it covers heart and throat, which is a nice overlap. And then aquamarine. Again, anything blue. Exercises. Now, as I've said for every single chakra, Any physical exercise is going to be good for all 7 of your main chakras, as well as the rest of the mini chakras throughout your body. You know, your body, under some systems, the body's thought to have over 100 chakras. I think it's like 114 or something, because, you know, the whole body's energy. So there's these little mini pockets of energy all over us. But for the purposes of this video and the purposes of working with yourself, I find you don't need to go beyond the 7. The 7 is fine. Anything beyond that, and it's just kind of like unless you're feeling called to do it, then do it. But otherwise, the main 7 are fine. Physical exercise works for all 7 chakras. Why? Because physical exercise gets your body moving. It gets your blood pumping. Everything circulates, including your energy. And if you can exercise outside, then you're just magnifying the effect of it, because now you've got nature, now you've got the earth, you know, going out barefoot in nature, going in nature in general, because when we're barefoot in nature and our foot touches the ground, our bare foot, we make a connection, an electric connection with the earth, and we ground. We ground. The ion transfer between the earth and ourselves as we begin to ground a lot of that heavier energy, and even some of the heavier metals will begin to ground. And, you know, you'll have to Google that for yourself. And then we also pull up the earth's energy through the ground as well. And that's why barefoot is one of the easiest ways to ground yourself. If you're feeling all kinds of in the sky, in the ether, or you're really held up in some kind of an emotion like anger or fear or whatever, go outside barefoot and walk around in the grass. Feet in the grass. I can't breathe very well because of the stuffy nose, but breathe in, breathe in the air, feel the sun on your skin, and just become intensely aware of that whole area. Become aware of the wind blowing if there's wind. Wind is another good one. Wind can help to cleanse your body, just like water can cleanse the body. Go take a shower. If you're very emotionally charged, go take a shower first, because the water will help to cleanse the energy, right? Then you can go outside, get cleansed by the wind if it's windy, bare feet on the ground. The sun will also help to cleanse you. All of these things are energy, and you're being bathed in these different energies, and it can help to kind of smooth out and reset what you got going on. That's why it's in every single chakra video. Meditation, again, meditation is good for all of the chakras, but specifically when it comes to the throat chakra, we want to make the breath our focus. Working with the breath, because the breath goes right through the throat chakra when you breathe in. So we can meditate and we can be intensely aware of the breath itself, not necessarily the abdomen or the nose like I've talked about in previous videos, but talking about the breath, following the breath. And as you begin to meditate deeper and deeper into that, follow this cycle, and you'll go back to breathing automatically while you're aware of it, which is kind of neat when you first do that. But as you breathe, feel it as it comes in. You'll see you breathe in hard, and then the velocity at which the air enters your body begins to slow down. So it's like a ball in the air, right? It hovers, and then so you can begin to track the wave of your breath. And that becomes really cool because you can get really in tune with that. That's going to be probably one of the number one things you can do outside of exercising and going outside, is to follow your breath like that. Become intensely aware of the breath. Breathe more from your diaphragm. Because again, if you're stuck in fight or flight, if you're stuck in that sympathetic nervous system being overactive, because remember, our nervous system has 2 main states: fight or flight, rest, relax, recover. Sympathetic nervous system, parasympathetic nervous system. When you're stuck in fight or flight, your body takes shallow breaths. You might not even realize it because you're doing it automatically, and you breathe only from the lungs. Now you might say to me, Lance, that's what the lungs are for. Shouldn't we breathe from the lungs? No. When we are resting, relaxing, recovering, we actually breathe from the lungs first, and then from the lungs and the diaphragm. When we're in rest, relax, recover, we breathe with the diaphragm too. When we're in rest, relax, recover, we inflate the diaphragm first, and then the lungs cap off. So, if you've ever done Wim Hof breathing, for example, you'll know this, or if you've ever done any breath work, you fill the diaphragm first, then you fill the lungs. However, if you're in that fight or flight, you'll only be filling the lungs, shallow breath. Become aware of your breath. You may not even realize that you've been breathing your whole life from your lungs. A lot of us in this modern society are stuck in fight or flight. We don't really change to rest, relax, recover until we finally, pass out at night, fall asleep. So in any case, work with the breath. Singing, because again, what is the throat chakra, but how we express. And singing is kind of one of the ultimate forms of expression. It's beyond speech, and a lot of people are hung up on it. Like, I know for me, singing is one of the things that I still struggle with. From my childhood traumas and things like that, you know, where I had to be quiet, I had to be small, I had to be sort of invisible in a way, such that, because anytime I was visible and I had needs that needed to be met, I got met with negativity and negative reinforcement. So it's like, you learn as a child then, okay, the safest thing for me to do is to be as small and quiet as possible so that I don't attract the attention of those that are going to give me negative attention. So for me, the singing is still one of the harder ones. I can do it with myself alone, and that's how you may start to. I'm contemplating, quite honestly, taking singing classes because they'll teach you how to breathe. They'll teach you how to sing and speak from the diaphragm. And I think that's probably one of the best ways you can open this up. Plus, doing it in front of someone else and other people, there's a lot of stuff that's going to bubble up from that you can work with. And that can also help to open up that throat chakra. And that's, I think, what I'm going to be doing this year as well. In the same vein, taking a public speaking course. It's kind of ironic that I'm doing throat chakra today, right? And now I got this whole throat nose thing going on. It's kind of interesting. Public speaking. Again, the same fashion, getting up in front of a group of people and speaking your truth and not getting caught up in what they think about it is another way we can open our throat chakra. Anything, again, with the color blue. For yoga, and for these yoga poses, I'm not going to demonstrate them for you in this video. You can Google them. You can watch YouTube videos to see how to do them. But lion's breath is a good yoga pose. That's a yoga that deals with breathing. Shoulder stand. Shoulder stand is good for the lymphatic system, and it gets the blood flowing in that area. And plow. Plow goes along with the shoulder stand and how it's effective. Journaling. Another way to speak our truth is to write it out. And again, journaling is for yourself. So get a journal and write out your thoughts and emotions. You know, at the end of the day, for example, revisit the events of the day. Revisit how you felt that day, how different things hit you. Maybe revisit times where you wish you would have said something and you didn't. Or conversely, revisit the day and go, man, I ran my mouth today. Like, I've been running my mouth all day. Like, maybe that's something I should work on. I don't think it's necessary that I run my mouth this much. And write that down. But in becoming reflective and becoming retrospective every day and writing it down in the journal, first of all, you're increasing awareness. And awareness is the #1 key to changing anything. And secondly, you're also prompting yourself to ask, what did you think about that? What did you feel about that? How did whatever so-and-so said to you make you feel? And how did what you said, if you're the run in your mouth person, how did that make you feel when you revisited it in your mind? And that is getting you to speak more of your truth, even if it's to yourself on paper. So journaling is incredibly helpful. And the mantra, every chakra has a sound. Every chakra has a set of syllables that resonates, because again, speech and sound is another vibration, like light is a vibration, like energy is ultimately a vibration. So the mantra sound for the throat chakra is hum, not ham, hum, ham, hum. So again, with this, you can repeat the word quickly, like hum, 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 hum. You can get a rhythm to it, like hum, 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 hum. Hum, 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 hum. Or you can do extended where as you're breathing out, kind of like when you do Om chanting, where you're Om. You can do the same with this, where you can go Hum. Hum. And when you're doing it, emphasize each syllable for a period of time. But remember, anytime we do mantra, the more we surrender to the mantra, the more the mantra will tell us how we should be saying it in any given moment. And from breath to breath, you may extend one syllable or another. You may go long, you may go short. You may be, hum, 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 hum. Or you may be, like some ancient grizzled meditator. So just play with it. Have fun with it. When it comes to foods, again, blue. Blueberries, blackberries, berries in general. Because we're dealing with the throat, soothing teas and liquids, things like honey, lemon, and coconut water can help to kind of rejuvenate and soothe the throat. And oddly enough, as I was researching, apples, pears, and plums. I didn't expect that. Normally it's related to the color. And then affirmations are critically important when it comes to the throat chakra because, again, we're speaking it. We're engaging this to say it. Two of the ones I think that are or three that are the best that I think is, I speak my truth. I speak my truth. And if that's too much of a jump, and I'll link a video below to our affirmations video where we talk about the rules of making affirmations and how you want to use affirmations that are resonant with you that aren't too far from where you're at. If that's too far, you could say, I like to use every day. Every day, I speak my truth a little more. See, that's a little different than I speak my truth. Like maybe we're not ready to actualize that just yet. I express my creativity with joy. And you could also throw the everyday in front of that. I am safe. A lot of times we don't speak up. We don't speak our truth. We don't set boundaries. We don't express our emotions because we don't feel safe enough to. And a lot of times, again, that comes from childhood, whether it's our parents, our home dynamic. Maybe the home was fine, but school, there was bullies and, you didn't feel safe at school around your peers and your social group. And that dynamic will follow you for the rest of your life unless you become aware and modify it. So maybe you don't feel safe enough to express yourself. In that case, work with I am safe. And also in that case, work on the root chakra. The root chakra is all about safety and survival. So if you're not feeling safe, it'll manifest here, but it'll manifest in the root as well. So check out our root chakra video. But work on that. And again, if that feels too far, like Lance, I don't feel safe. I can't say that and honestly feel it. Okay. Every day, I'm a little more safe than I was yesterday. And if that doesn't feel good, then start in the becoming, in the wanting. I want to be safe. Because even I want to be safe is a step above I'm not safe. And we can work with that from I want to be safe to I can be safe. And then I can be safe can progress into every day I'm beginning to be a little safer. And then into every day I am a little safer. Into I'm safe. I'm good to go. Look around. Are there any lions and tigers here? Are there any snakes on the floor? There's nothing going on here. We're safe. Take a deep breath. Look around. Observe your environment. Realize 99% of the time, you're perfectly safe. It's the mind and the central nervous system, that ancient body wisdom that makes us think we're not safe because it, like a sponge, absorbed those moments from childhood when we weren't safe a lot of the time. And then it recreates and it holds on to that pattern and it sees everything through that pattern as you get to be an adult. Then it's like, I wake up anxious and fearful, but there's nothing going on. It's just you and your spouse or you and your cat making a cup of coffee. Where's the danger, right? So that's something you got to work with yourself to retrain your central nervous system to say, no, we are safe, man. Everything's cool. All right, everybody. I think that's long enough for this video. I don't want to keep too much of your time. That's the throat chakra, what it is, what some of the traits, imbalanced and balanced, and how and things you can do to open and clear it. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. I'll see you next time. Peace.